All right, we're in Singapore right now, and I want to cover with you guys my next big trades on Cardano. I've just pulled off over 200% profit on Bitcoin. I've done it again with Tron, and I'm seeing massive opportunities with Cardano. It actually goes both ways, so I'm going to cover all of that with you in this video. But before we get into it, Bybit has actually just gone ahead and released this crypto debit card. I didn't even know that they were doing this up until like 2-3 days ago, but this is fucking sick. You can actually spend your crypto in the real world, and what we're doing today is trying it out for the first time to see how it actually works. And as you can see, this is actually a MasterCard, so you can use this pretty much anywhere in the world. Anywhere that accepts MasterCard, you can use this, and we're gonna see how we can actually turn this crypto into a fresh, it's not free, but into a fresh orange juice. So this is fucking sick because I've actually made a bunch of profit on my Tron trade, on my Bitcoin trade. I'm going to be putting that back into the real world right now. And literally, all I've got to do, because this is a normal debit card, tap it straight onto this bad machine right here, and that's it. It works just like a real card. We can actually see the cup starting to fill up right there. Right, so before we get into the analysis and the trades, one of the big things I want to mention is that if you've been referred to Bybit by me, you're going to be getting free access to one of my courses that covers the key psychological lessons I've learned as a trader during markets like right now. These lessons have made and saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's something that I've sold for hundreds of dollars in the past, but you're going to get it for free just if you use Bybit using my link down in the description below. Now, if you're not sure or you haven't done that yet, there's a tutorial on screen that's going to show you how to actually do that. And once you've followed that, just send me it by email, Telegram, whatever. We'll sort it out for you, and you can actually get a Bybit card to turn fucking crypto cash USDT into a fucking orange juice out here in Singapore. Let's get straight into the video now because I want to talk to you about this trade setup. So literally hundreds of % in profit available with this kind of trade setup. It's the same trade setup that I've already done, so it's obviously not something that I'm not used to, something that it's actually my most profitable, most common trade setup that I usually find myself in, and it's to do with the Cardano long-term chart. If we look at this against the dollar here, we've already covered this on the YouTube channel. If you're subscribed, you're going to know this, where, you know, for over 260 days now, we haven't actually been able to find significant support off this level. In fact, from the absolute low to the absolute high, Cardano didn't even pull a 2x, which is worse than Bitcoin. You know, if we look at Cardano against Bitcoin throughout the course of this year, it's in a weak position. That is quite clear to me. And, you know, that's interesting because, you know, there's also fundamental reasons for why Cardano could be in a weak place, especially after, you know, things like the FTX crash. We're not going to go into it, but what I do want to look at is that, look, if this coin is actually so weak, I don't care if it's going up or down or whatever in circles, you know me, I'm not that kind of guy. But, you know, if there's an opportunity here that looks clean where, you know, I can jump into the market and just scrape whatever % I want and then get the fuck out, I'm always there for it. Those are my favorite kind of trades. And, you know, what I really like is when you've got a really solid defined key level in the market, you know, if you break it, you could see big drops to the downside, you know, and equally, you know, with kind of resistance areas like, let's say, I don't know, if I draw a kind of green box around over here, you know, if you're able to break kind of resistance levels like this one right here, then, you know, there isn't really, you know, I mean, anything on the chart that could give you more resistance. And what's really cool is that, you know, like basically anything above this price level, if you get a breakout, the next area of resistance is 35% above. And, you know, that may or may not sound crazy to you, but, you know, if you're trading this like I am with, you know, I'm using Bybit, obviously you're getting, you know, up to $30,000 in completely free trading capital. So all you have to do is start trading using my link and they will give you free money in your account that you can trade with. And by the way, if you're looking for a no KYC alternative, because Bybit does require KYC, BingX is also in the description, so you can go ahead and check that out. Also an absolutely great exchange, and you know, with a bit of leverage that these exchanges offer, I mean, you know, 5x leverage on a 35% gain is already gonna more than double your money, you know, which is absolutely crazy. You know, 10x leverage and you're looking at more than 4 times increases on your money there. So there's a lot of play, you know, with these kind of moves, and I'm looking at the same thing basically, but to the downside. So you know, this picture actually kind of outlines it a little bit nicely. You know, kind of the entry levels and stuff like that I'm looking for, but I'm going to actually break this down for you right here, and we will go to Bitcoin as well in just a minute because this does very directly you know, tie into Bitcoin, so bear with me here. But you know, what we do have on this chart is basically below you know, this area of support that we're stuck at right now. I mean, we do have a quite sizable drop. I mean, down to just the first wicks on this chart, just the wicks. You know, we have potentially a 20% drop in store for ourselves right here. And this, you know, the thing about these kind of drops is, I mean, you know, you look at how quickly we rise to the upside. I mean, this can very much happen within, you know, a day or a few days, right? I mean, you know, these kind of moves, when you break these key levels, they come quickly, and that's what I'm looking for. You know, like, I don't know about you, but yes, I want to make a lot of money. I want to make a lot of fucking money, but I want to make that money quickly. And it's for 2 reasons. It's not just because I'm a cocky, arrogant guy that's young and I have a little bit of impatience about me, which is, it's true, there are those elements. It's not just that, it's because the longer you're actually in the market, the more you're risking your capital, right? And that it's okay if you move your stop loss to break even and stuff like that, which is what I've done. You guys know I've been riding my profitable positions for a long time. If the market gives me that opportunity, fuck yeah, I will. Of course, it's you know, there's no reason not to. I only stand to make more money by staying in a winning position. But you know, at the same time, if you're not able to control your risk, then really all that's happening is you're opening yourself up to risk for even longer periods of time, and that just means you're more vulnerable. So you know, this is the kind of alpha as a trader. This is the kind of like extra insight, extra kind of, you know, reading between the lines, thinking between the lines kind of thing that you just don't pick up if you're not an actual trader. But you're going to know this if you've been fucked about in the market and you've lost a lot of money because of your mistakes and stuff like that over the years, like I have. You're going to learn that you actually don't want to trade. You know, you want to limit how many trades you make, number one, and you want to limit how long you're in those trades as well, because, you know, the more time you're not in a trade, the more time you're keeping your money safe. So you know, I like to go for the quicker gains, and you know, just down to those wicks. Like I said, these kind of moves can happen really quickly. But if we move down to the candle bodies, I mean, it's even better. We're looking at, again, like a 30% move, which is just absolutely crazy. And like I said, this does tie into Bitcoin, right? Because if we do take a look at Bitcoin, you know, this kind of move, I think is not super likely to happen if Bitcoin is in a strong position. And we're going to talk a lot about this in this YouTube video, because, you know, what we have actually done, which is really cool with Bitcoin right here, is that we've been able to stay in this parallel channel right here. And this parallel channel actually stretches back towards, you know, the middle of August. And now we're in the middle of September. So basically a month-long kind of parallel channel that Bitcoin's been able to hold on to here. And we managed to break out of it and then back test it. So this previous red line here, you can quite clearly see that this was offering resistance to Bitcoin throughout August. It was offering resistance to Bitcoin throughout September, you know, but now we've actually been able to bounce off it. And if you guys have been paying attention to what I was saying in the recent videos, this is actually Bitcoin's best case scenario. This is Bitcoin's best case scenario, because if Bitcoin is able to get these bounces off our old areas of resistance and turn them into support, then that's actually, you know, the single most powerful thing that can actually trigger big rallies to the upside. So I am loving that. That is a really good sign to be seeing in this market here. And I am going to go into, you know, the actual numbers of this trade with you here in just a second as well. But if we just stick to the Bitcoin chart for another second here, you know, what's really important for Bitcoin to do from here is to overcome this red Ichimoku cloud. I mean, you know, we've got this resistance cloud right here that we've been able to really start pushing out of now, but still we haven't actually pulled a miracle off this level. We're still in the cloud, actually. I mean, you know, we've had a couple candles and wicks come out of it, but there's no real strength here. And if Bitcoin does, you know, get sent back down for whatever reason now, then we've lost whatever momentum we built. So we don't really want to see that happen. We need to see Bitcoin muster some strength now in order to turn this thing around. And if we can, we could find ourselves in a pretty good position here. And there's a few other things that actually look good with Bitcoin. If we look at this falling wedge situation on Bitcoin, it's actually the same thing that we've seen play out earlier this year throughout April all the way into June. You know, we had this 16% range right here at the top, and then we actually, I mean, it's perfect how this works out. I mean, you know, we look at you know, how high the range actually spans, 16-17%. We put that as our breakout point, and we can actually extrapolate a target from that, which was so fucking accurate. You know, I mean, it forecasted that we go up by $4,500, and we went up by what, like 4.7 or something. So pretty good. You know, and if we do the same kind of thing right now, which is, you know, we're in the same pattern right now anyway, then we are potentially looking at another 15% move, and that would put us right there at the $30,000 level that we've actually been watching quite closely. And, you know, if all of these things happen, if Bitcoin takes this more bullish stance, then actually the second trade opportunity that I'm seeing with Cardano is this long position, which actually looks a little bit interesting. This might not actually be the correct chart. I think it's I don't actually have it here. It's a long position on Cardano, which I wanted to show you, which is also another really interesting idea. And this is potentially even more exciting because this trade, you know, it's actually possible to trade it now. You know, I mean, it's not quite at the entry that I would want, but Cardano is very close to it. I mean, if we're looking at this area of support, I mean, you know, it stretches from 25 cents down to 24, basically. You know, what is this, like a, what, yeah, 6% range. It's really not that big. You know, I mean, whether I get an entry here or I get an entry a little bit lower, it almost doesn't make a difference. But this is a really interesting place for Cardano to, you know, kind of form some bounces here. And the reason that it's interesting is that, first of all, it's pretty easy to put a stop loss here. You know, look, first of all, I mean, there are exceptions, right? I mean, you know, you can have the best trade in the world and you can have great risk management. It's going to go wrong sometimes. And that's why, I mean, it's just the nature of trading. That's the risk that we take. And that's why we exercise risk management. That's why we don't trade too much money. That's why we put stop losses in place and stuff like that. It's obvious, and if you're making these kind of mistakes, then get the fuck off my YouTube channel. I don't even want you here. You're an absolute degenerate and you don't belong here. But we're talking about like how to actually make money, and so if you respect your money like I do, then you know you're going to be a little bit more sensible with it, and you know these kind of issues shouldn't actually be a problem for you. Like if these kind of things take you out of the game, like how are you even on my channel, bro? Like how did you even find me? Like, you know, it's just not for you. Go watch some other shit munching YouTuber. You know, this is not the place for you. But you know, if you you know, if you are serious about this kind of thing, then these wicks won't actually be a problem. They're annoying, I know. Like I don't like it when it comes up either. But you know, I mean, I keep my stop losses. I don't trade too much money in every trade, so you know that's how I'm able to insulate myself from actually getting screwed on these kind of things. And you know, bottom line, if this were to work out, I mean, you know, just to Cardano's next, I mean, this is a macro area of support. Just to Cardano's next macro area on the chart is a 68% move. I mean, you know, it's absolutely crazy. And what's really, really cool is that, you know, I would probably look for a stop loss probably like, honestly, like even around here, 23.2, you know, is a really good stop loss area. And you know, just from the current price, that's a 6% move away. So you know, I'm comfortable doing even a 5x leverage trade on this kind of move right here, and that's still a 250% profit. So that's a 3.5 times increase on my capital. You know, just by trading the long side right here, if Bitcoin actually does the bullish thing. And if we do go ahead and go back to Bitcoin here before we wrap up, I know I'm jumping back and forth, but this is really, really important. I mean, this is the way I make my own trading decisions, guys. I'm giving you a really in-depth view into how I actually make my trading decisions. I don't just look at one chart. I don't just look at one pair. I want to know everything that's going on in the market. I want to give myself every single unfair advantage that I possibly can, and that's why you're here watching this YouTube channel as well. We want to do the same thing for you, obviously. And so, you know, with Bitcoin, what I'm seeing here is that, I mean, you know, if we're able to start getting above these kind of areas, if we're able to start, you know, breaking out of these kind of, you know, falling wedges, we're going to find ourselves in really interesting situations where we start brushing up against, you know, quite important resistance on this chart. This box here represents a really important area of resistance on the Bitcoin chart that stretches between about $27.3 to $28,000. It's actually where we most recently topped out with that big spike right here that lasted basically just one day. You know, and if we're able to kind of get back above this range, then again, you know, we're just looking for those SR flips, right? Like where we're finding resistance previously, we want to turn that into support. We want to get above this area and come back down and find support here. That is the best case scenario. That's the best thing that Bitcoin can do. And again, it's what we're already doing. Like this chart shows it really beautifully. It's the exact area that we were topping out, you know, with our candles, with our wicks. I mean, it really depends on where you're looking, and there are obviously exceptions. I don't need you to point that out. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I know you were typing it out. You know, that's okay. There are exceptions here, but ultimately what we're looking for are characteristics. We're looking for, you know, like if Bitcoin was actually in a very weak position, would we still be backtesting these areas and not collapsing down? You know what I mean? Like the fact that we're not collapsing might tell us a little bit about the strength of Bitcoin. And nothing is certain. We're just going for probabilities here. If you're not comfortable with that, you don't belong on this YouTube channel as a trader. You're just not going to make it. I mean, you need to be okay with being wrong, and you need to be okay with being wrong all the fucking time, because at the end of the day, you know, you are only looking at probabilities. Nothing is certain, which is basically like real life anyway. So welcome to the real world. But you know, this is what we're looking for, is to start kind of flipping these SR levels, getting above, finding support where we were finding resistance, and then tackling these slightly higher levels here. And what gets really interesting is that if Bitcoin can actually pull this off, then we're also going to break through some really important resistance right here. Now, this is on the 1 day time frame. We've got a 1 day EMA ribbon here, and it's really interesting. I mean, I know this, you know, scam wick looks like exactly that, like a scam wick, but a lot of the time we just use basic indicators that I swear by, you know, that I love, that I use all the time in my trading. And honestly, I mean, to be fair, my main analysis doesn't even revolve around these, but when you just use the very simple indicators that I talk about all the time, you know, you'll see that, I mean, they work really well. Bitcoin topped out right at the top of this EMA ribbon here, and we are facing the same resistance again. And it's not a weak area of resistance. You know, I mean, the 1 day EMA ribbon, when it has a spread, by the way, no spread over here, big spread over here, right? Spread basically just means, can you make out each individual line, yes or no? If you can make out the lines, then you have a spread. If you can't, that means the lines are not spread out. You know, and when you've got a spread, it's a very powerful indicator. You can see how, I mean, you know, we're bouncing off it really, really nicely, and we start losing that spread around over here, and so it stops being useful and the market collapses. It's just, you know, the way you can read into this shit is crazy. I mean, you just have to, you know, you just have to, you know, just learn it. And there's a lot of ways you can learn it. I've actually made a free YouTube video for you. You can type this into the YouTube search bar and watch that, but it's also part of the wider 𝗬𝗙𝗥𝗙𝗚𝗏 Academy courses that you get when you join VIP for free. We are running a 50% off sale right now on that, so go ahead and check it out with the link in the description if you are interested in that.
and you can gain access to VIP, and we'll give you that course for free as well. But what we do have is yeah, potentially some really good upside here for Bitcoin if we are able to pump up. And what's very interesting is that the last time we actually did this, towards the beginning of this year, we actually formed a 45% upside move here, and that's really impressive, because if we do the same thing again, that would put us at $40,000. It's just beautiful, right? I mean, the numbers are so round, they're so perfect. I mean, I really like the way it looks here. It's the same 45% move. I'm just saying, Bitcoin could do more, Bitcoin could do less, but if it happens on par with what we've already seen, then this is where it potentially puts us, which is, it's just an interesting number to consider. It's almost like no matter which way we look at it right now, I mean, all of your waiting is starting to pay off. It's already starting to pay off for me. You guys know very well about this Tron trade that I've been in. I'm still in this Tron trade. I've secured absolutely amazing profits. You've seen, some screenshots of my Bybit account. It's actually way bigger than this. I make way more money on this Tron trade now. I just haven't posted an updated screenshot. And by the way, guys, this Twitter page is just blowing off. I need you guys to see this. It's absolutely hilarious. I want to read out this tweet to you guys. It's really funny. So we've got the Range Rover and a picture of Nobu here. Roll out of bed. Ferrari, Porsche, or Range Rover. Fuck it. I'm keeping the British. I'm keeping it British today. Hop in the baby blue 4x4. Cruise to the gym. Hitting the free weights. Ladies admiring. They have good taste in men, but not in lip filler. Fan comes up to me. You're gonna love this part. Fan comes up to me. Sammy, what shit coins are hot right now? Slap him in the face. Tell him to focus on the top 10 coin. Make sure you use stop losses. He nods in admiration. Gym receptionist gives me a wink as I leave. When are you taking me out for dinner? Never. Cruise the whip over to mum. Take her out to Nobu, 2K bill. I remember being broke. Here we go. This is the Twitter page. We're just fired up. I'm just shit posting, guys. I'm just having fun with it. Go check it out. It's just fun stuff. If this is your thing, it's all linked in the description down below. It's super cool. But like I said, coming back to the trading here, this is more or less what I'm going for, is just these kind of easy opportunities where I can pick off gains in the market. I don't want to do it loudly. I don't need the attention and stuff like that. I don't want to do anything crazy. I'm just looking for, really basic shit. Like, are we at a support level? Yes or no? Does it look like we're going to bounce? Yes or no? Okay, I'll buy. I'll put a stop loss in. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Doesn't really matter. It's not about each individual trade. It's about having a good system, and a good system is undoubtedly just buying off a support level. I mean, it's one of the best strategies, in any market, is you just buy at support and you sell at resistance. So, I really like this long trade here. I do want to talk to you a little bit more about the short side of this trade, because this is really interesting. And if you actually just look at this chart right here, let's throw this on the logarithmic scale so we can actually gain a bigger sense of appreciation for just how big this gap is in the market. I mean, below this, green box right here, if we kind of look for like the next major area on the chart, like it is going to be around here, really. Where that next major kind of bit of support comes in for Cardano. And below this, it's probably like about over here. This is probably the next key area, because we've got a little bit of action over here. We've got a major reversal over here and a little bit of consolidation here. And, if we did something a little bit more like this, that's a 50% drop for Cardano. I mean, things would have to get really bad. But what's good about this chart is, like, if you look at the same thing for Bitcoin, this is where you and I are going to really separate ourselves from the rest of the traders in the space. Because if you look at something like what's going on with Bitcoin, what you'll see is that if we're talking about Bitcoin going from 25k down to 12, or 25k down to 9, or whatever bearish price target you have, that's totally cool. You can do that. You can have that. That's okay. But there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of support between Bitcoin now and getting down to those price levels. That's what's really important to keep in mind. I mean, for Bitcoin to drop back down towards 15k, to drop back down towards 14, 12k, I mean, we're going to have to lose the support over here, 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 and here, and here, and here. And it's just, and actually, this is your target, and this is a very popular target. Everyone wants a $12,000 Bitcoin. That's why you're not going to get one, by the way. But everyone wants a $12,000 Bitcoin, and just look at how many things need to go wrong for you to actually get that. Whereas, I don't care. Like, if it's Bitcoin, if it's Cardano, if it's a fucking another shitcoin, it really doesn't matter to me. I just want to make money. And what I'm seeing here is that, for Cardano to drop down by fucking 50%, it needs to lose the support here and here. And then this is it, and we're already down 50%, and the second one, I'm just being generous. I wouldn't even really know if I should count that. But even if we just fall down to the first target, and this is why it's such a clean opportunity here, that's still potentially a 20% move to the downside. Slap 5x leverage on that, and it's already a really big gain. And what's really cool about this, and the way I've actually outlined this with the trade setup, is that If Cardano falls below its current price and then comes back up, I would probably want to enter on these green lines here. So that's 24 cents and 24.3 cents. So basically, I mean, you know, I'll just put two horizontal lines here to make this very obvious. So basically one entry right here and another entry right here. That's it. So if Cardano does something a little bit like this, this is where I enter and ride this bitch down. And what I really like about this is I can just set my stop loss, you know, like a little bit above this. It doesn't have to be too high, 4%, 5% above. You know, 5x leverage. I'm not actually risking that much money. It's not that bad. You know, but the upside potential here is potentially, you know, huge, absolutely huge. So it's an interesting trade. I mean, you know, this is really going to depend on the kind of bias that you know, I have in the market at the time, right? Like if I'm feeling a little bit more bearish, then I'm going to take this bearish trade. But actually, if I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful that Cardano, you know, and more importantly, Bitcoin might be in a strong position over these next few months, then actually, you know, the upside trade is really interesting. But no matter which way you cut it right now, there is a big opportunity in the market right now with Cardano. Whether we go up or we go down, there is a lot of money to be made very, very soon. I know you've been waiting for a long time. I sure have as well. And now we've got another opportunity here. I've pulled it off with Bitcoin. I've pulled it off with Tron. I've done it all in front of you guys. I've shared all of the numbers with you. I'm being incredibly, you know, transparent with you all. You know, you guys were asking for this for a little bit, so here we are. We're doing this on the Twitter page. I've lost the screenshot now, but you know the deal. You've seen it, you know, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, you know, this is exactly what we're all about. And if you want to, you know, kind of take advantage of the kind of volatility here, then you know, I'm seeing some really cool opportunities. And like I said, you know, the best place to trade this stuff is obviously just going to be on Bybit, with the link in the description down below. Again, you're getting up to $30,000 in completely free trading bonuses, which means that's just free money you can trade with. Also, of course, the crypto debit card. It's really cool. Again, I didn't even know they were doing it, but definitely check it out. It's, you know, I mean, you can make money and then spend it in the real world. It's super, super cool. For those of you that are referred to Bybit by me, I'm also going to give you one of my products. So I was talking all about it at the beginning of the video. Just rewind and get the details on it if you are interested. And like I said, guys, if Bybit isn't for you for whatever reason, you know, maybe, you know, because you don't like the KYC, you know, BingX is also available, and it is a great alternative. It actually allows you to trade traditional finance markets. So you can trade, you know, the S&P 500, you can trade gold, you can trade Tesla, you can trade Amazon, you can trade Apple. It's fucking cool. So go ahead and check it out. Even if you're on Bybit already. I mean, I use Bybit and I'm also on BingX anyway, because BingX gives me access to big markets that Bybit just has never even gone into. I don't know why they don't. They would make a lot of money if they did, and I would use it a lot. But anyway, while they don't do it, I have to use an alternative. So you know, BingX is a phenomenal choice here, well worth considering. But with that, guys, I am going to be heading off. I really hope you have enjoyed this one. You know exactly what to do if you have. Hang on, I do have I think one more chart to show you. Oh no, I don't. No, that's it. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this one, you know exactly what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, take the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.